Deep in the jungles of Central America, stone cities rise from the green darkness like memories of a world that should not have vanished. For centuries, the Maya built towering temples, crowded plazas, painted palaces, observatories, roads, reservoirs, and cities that seemed impossible for their time. And then, something changed. The crowds disappeared. The fires went cold. The temples were abandoned. Great cities that once echoed with footsteps, drums, prayers, and royal ceremonies became silent. This is not the story of a civilization that simply ended. It is the story of a world that slowly broke beneath its own weight until the jungle took it back. To understand the mystery, we have to return to the Maya world before the collapse. Imagine the heat first. The air is thick, wet, and heavy. Birds scream from the jungle canopy. Smoke rises from cooking fires. Stone steps glow under the morning sun. In the distance, pyramids climb above the trees like mountains made by human hands. Below them, the city is awake. Merchants spread cacao, jade, feathers, obsidian blades, woven cloth, salt, and painted pottery across the marketplace. Farmers arrive with maize from fields beyond the city walls. Children move between houses of limestone and packed earth. Scribes paint delicate symbols on the bark paper. Priests watch the sky, reading the movement of Venus and the sun. This was not a primitive world. It was a civilization of mathematicians, astronomers, engineers, artists, rulers, builders, farmers, and believers. A world where time itself was measured in sacred cycles. A world where kings claimed power from the gods and temples were built to connect earth with the heavens. But beneath the beauty, pressure was growing. The cities needed food. The rulers needed monuments. The people needed water. Forests were cleared. Fields expanded. Reservoirs were pushed to their limits. And in a land where survival depended on rain, even a few failed seasons could become a disaster. Then the rains began to change. At first, it may have felt temporary. A dry season lasting too long. A reservoir lower than usual. Maize growing weaker in the fields. Priests climbing temple steps to call for rain. Families watching the sky with fear instead of hope. But the clouds did not come. As drought deepened, the city changed. Markets grew quieter. Food became harder to find. The sound of construction slowed. Royal power weakened. Rival cities fought harder for resources. People who once believed the rulers could speak to the gods began to wonder why the gods no longer answered. This is where collapse becomes human. Not as one sudden explosion, not as one single night of destruction, but as thousands of small moments. A mother saving the last maize for her child, a worker leaving an unfinished wall, a priest standing before a crowd with no rain to promise, a family walking away from the city their ancestors built. One by one, homes emptied, courtyards filled with dust, fires died inside kitchens, palaces lost their voices, the great plazas that once held ceremonies and crowds became open stone spaces under a merciless sun. And then came the silence. The temples still stood, the carvings still watched, the roads still crossed the jungle, but the people were gone. The Maya did not vanish as a people. Their descendants still live today, carrying language, memory, culture, and identity forward. But many of the great classic Maya cities were abandoned, leaving behind one of history's most haunting questions. How can a civilization so brilliant become so fragile? Centuries later, the jungle returned. Roots cracked stone, vines swallowed stairways, rain fell on empty plazas, birds nested where kings once ruled. What had once been one of the most advanced urban worlds in the ancient Americas became a hidden landscape of ruins. And maybe that is why the Maya collapse still fascinates us, because it does not feel distant. It feels like a warning. Civilizations do not always fall because they are weak. Sometimes they fall because they grow too complex, too divided, too dependent on systems they believe will never fail. The Maya built cities that touched the sky, but even the highest temples could not command the rain. And in the end, the jungle kept the secret.